I bought 10 photography and videography accessories from Temu. Some of them were pretty, some of them were pretty amazing. Let's go and test them out so that you don't need to waste your money. First up, we have some video lights. Now, I'm actually using some of these right now, but these were some of the cheapest two-panel video lights that I could find online. I bought these when I lived in my last apartment because it was an incredibly dark room that I had my office in. Using natural light wasn't really an option, so video lights are the only way that I could go if I wanted to record more content. Now, these filled in the spaces. They created enough light for me to go and create some videos with. But there are a few crucial issues. Firstly, the brightness doesn't increase incrementally, and I've also noticed that the temperature doesn't increase incrementally as well. So even though it does have temperature adjustment, I feel like it jumps so quickly between cool and warm that it really makes it difficult to find the sweet spot that I need for a video. Now, aside from that, the stands are pretty wonky. I don't have too much confidence in them, and the batteries themselves are not too bad, but they could be a little bit better. So a 7 out of 10 rating because they do their job, but it does have some areas that it could improve. Next up, I have an SD card holder, and this one I'm pretty hyped on. So it's got a silicon interior here for actually holding SD cards, and it's just kind of like nice to hold and to feel. I was expecting very little for this. I spent next to nothing on it. And before this, I was just using the built-in memory card holder of my bag. Or I had like a little like fishing tackle box that the SD cards could bounce around in. So this is infinitely improved. I am going to give this a solid 10 out of 10 because it could not be improved upon. This is absolutely perfect and I love it. Next up, I bought a video tripod from Temu. And this one was a bit risky. I had my main video tripod which broke and I needed something pretty quickly because I had a big video focused wedding lined up and I needed to record the full ceremony, full speeches, all of that good stuff. So here it is. You can see it does all the things that a video tripod needs to do. It's got the spinning head. It is pretty tall, which I need for ceremonies. You always need to go and look over people's heads. So this works absolutely perfectly. The one downside is that it does feel a little bit cheap. So I'm not actually sure how long this thing is going to last for, but so far it has survived a couple weddings, a couple destination weddings as well. So it is holding up pretty good. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10 because it does what I need it to do, but I'm going to leave behind 2 points because I'm really expecting this thing to break at some point. Next up is the camera bag. So this one I'm actually pretty hyped on. It's got such a nice feel to it. It fits in plenty of stuff. Let me open it up here for you. It opens up to quite a lot of space over here. So it works really nicely. It's got a laptop sleeve in it. It's got all these nice pouches at the front, which I store all my cables and things in. So I'm pretty hyped on it. The one downside is that it is a little bit smaller than I was expecting. So when I bought it, I actually needed to upgrade my bag because it was getting a little bit small and I was just accumulating too much gear. So this was supposed to solve the problem of not having enough space, but it only solved it a little bit. I could still do with a bag that's a little bit bigger, but this one has some great positives in that it's really comfortable, fits everything that I need for now at a squish, and it's got plenty of compartments and really nice laptop sleeves for me to use. I'm going to give this bag a solid 9 out of 10. 1 point goes missing just because it is a little bit smaller than I was expecting. Okay, next up, I've got my dual camera harness. Now this one was so cheap. And let me show you kind of what it looks like if you aren't sure how these work. Okay, so the idea is that you can then go and strap 2 cameras to your waist so that it's really helpful if you have like a prime lenses, if you can have like a 35 on one side and 85 on the other. It just allows you to cover a full focal range without needing to use a zoom lens. So this is great. This was really cheap. It is probably fake leather, but it holds up really nicely. I've used it for a full year of weddings and I'm pretty happy with it actually. It's really comfortable, doesn't get too sweaty, the length is perfect. The only downside is I will say that these clips get caught a little bit on my camera if I want to like quickly take the camera off. Sometimes this clip can get a little bit stuck, but to be honest, I'd rather that it gets stuck rather than it lets the camera loose by accident. So I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10 because of that, and I don't plan to stop using it anytime soon. Okay, next up, I've got this overhead mount. The idea is that this part here attaches to your tripod and your camera goes on the end over there or over here, and you can kind of elongate this if you need to. The idea behind this is that it is designed to be able to do top-down shots. Now, technically this works, but because of the weight of the cameras, it does bend quite a bit. So I don't have full confidence in this, and I only use it when I need to do quite a close top-down shot. I would not put this up on the ceiling and hope for the best. I definitely want my camera to have a very short fall if it is going to come off of here. So ultimately it does what I need it to do, but I could have a little bit more confidence in it. And for that reason, I'm actually going to give it a 2 out of 10. I do not have confidence in this thing at all, and I'm worried that one day it is going to break the lens because the camera falls off of there, or the rod actually snaps and the camera goes plummeting to its death. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. I use this thing really sparingly, and usually I have like a little bit of a fail-safe under it just in case the camera does fall. This next one really hits me so hard. So I ordered like a whole bunch of these little like mesh baggies with the idea that I could go and put all the cables and all of the power bricks and chargers and everything that I need in them. While you could do that, they are way too small to fit anything really important or to fit enough in there to actually make it worthwhile. So the inner OCD person in me had great ideas about keeping the clutter out of his bag on wedding days, but ultimately this just isn't it. You can fit 2 Sony a7 IV batteries in here, and that is about it. Maybe you can fit like a USB-C cable. You cannot fit any of the Sony camera chargers. You cannot fit a charger and a battery. You cannot fit a cable and a battery. So ultimately, I wish these were a little bit bigger, and they arrived much smaller than I expected them to be based on the ad I saw on Temu. Because of that, they are currently not being used, or at least not used enough in my wedding day setup. So I'm actually going to give these a solid 1 out of 10. Now, by contrast, here is something that I'm super excited about, and that is this little camera umbrella. Let me put it on a camera here for you to see. There we go. So the idea is that it keeps rain or intense sun off of your camera. Now, I actually bought this more for keeping intense sun off of the camera. And that's because I live in a pretty warm country, South Africa. And honestly, when I'm recording like a full wedding ceremony, the last thing that I want is for the camera to be sitting in direct sunlight, overheating, and then we have a break in the coverage there. So this helps avoid that. It helps keep the sun off the camera, helps it keep a little bit cooler, so that I do not need to worry about having too many backups or about the camera overheating. Now, I suppose it would be pretty handy for keeping the rain off the camera as well. I think it needs to be a little bit shorter if it wants to maximize the effectiveness of keeping rain off, but it's not something that I've really tested yet. I've seen other people use it quite effectively in the rain, so I'm sure it's good, but I've got no complaints so far. And that is why I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. 1 point off just because the length is a little bit long, and it would be better if it was a bit shorter. Now we have the mist filter. So this is just a lens filter, and when you put it on your lens, it kind of like softens everything up. It creates like a kind of dreamy kind of effect. And it's almost like you've taken the clarity slider and just brought that way down. So it is quite cool. I'd say for video, it is quite handy, especially if you are working with like harsh sunlight, or there's like really like super overexposed highlights. This can help soften that up a little bit. It's not something that I use too much, and the effect is not as great as I would like. Now, I know that you can get stronger mist filters. You can also stack them to create like more of that effect. But honestly, I want something that still feels kind of natural. And this still feels natural, but doesn't have enough of the effect that I was looking for. So a little bit disappointing, not something that I use often. It's more like a little gimmick. So I would give this a solid 4 out of 10 just because of the missed opportunities there. Now, item number 10 is our teleprompter. So this one I'm pretty excited about. This one's actually more catered towards creating YouTube videos. Anything where I've got like a pretty long script that I want to read through, and I want to make sure that I get everything detail by detail mentioned. So this is quite helpful. How it works is you attach your camera to the back here, and it's got a mirror, like a two-way mirror through it. So the camera can see through, but it reflects anything that's at the bottom here. So how it works is you go and put your phone at the bottom. It then, I wonder if I can show you that. Nope, it's not showing through. But yeah, you put your phone at the bottom and then you open the teleprompter app on your phone, and it will actually go and show you word for word everything that you've written out. So if you've got paragraphs and paragraphs of script, this will help you just go and mention it word for word and not forget any details, and also speed up the process of creating those videos. Now, it does also have this handy like little joystick, which makes it really easy to go like back and forwards. If you make a mistake, to go and restart it, you can go and change the speed, all of that using this. So really, really handy tool. And it's something that I have tested out a little bit on some of my previous videos, and I really, really like it. So I have to give it a solid 10 out of 10. There is nothing I can find wrong with it. It was pretty much the cheapest teleprompter for DSLR cameras that I could find. And it works perfectly. Like, it feels a little bit cheap, but you don't need it to be robust. It's not something that's going to be taking punishment. So I'm pretty happy with that. And ultimately, everyone, these are some of my favorite and least favorite purchases that I've got from Temu. Things that are going to be really helpful for photographers and videographers, and some things that can maybe be forgotten about and taken out of your carts. So hope it was helpful. Let me know in the chat box which ones you are most excited to take a look at. And if you've got any extra Temu purchases that you've made that you would like to share, please put it down in the comments too. Take care, everyone. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch up again soon.